my experience in Guatemala. So I was flying to a new country, my first time going out of the U.S., and I had no idea what it would be like. So I arrived at my host family's home, and it was just like the architecture in their house was phenomenal, just gorgeous. And she's a designer and held many archives of like ancient Guatemalan art, and that was really cool to me. This is my host sister, Catalina. Me and her had a lot of fun together, and she was like a best friend right away. So the first day of school, like, this is just like the driveway up to the school, because the school's on the top of a hill. It kind of just like resembled what I think every Waldorf school should be, just like so much outdoor space and just openness. Here's a couple pictures, like there's chickens, there's turtles living in there. All the hallways are outside. That's like all the rooftops of the classrooms, and there's just like plants growing on top. It's really beautiful. Another hallway, more of the school. And this is like the younger children's play area, and that's like the entrance to the school. Here's like a little walkthrough video. And then like up there, they're constantly adding on. So there's a worker working on a new hive for the school. They call it like a hive system because it's all spread out sporadically. All right. That's like the high school area. There's 2 levels for that. Oh no. Alright, so yeah, the school work was pretty difficult at first. Although it is a bilingual school, the majority of the classes were in Spanish, and that was difficult to pick up everything that was going on around me. And it was a little bit discouraging, but I found my way as it went on. There's some pottery I made in art or was working on. Everyone was just super nice and welcoming. The school lunches, this is the only picture I took of our school lunches, but they were like so good and top tier, I would say. Yeah. So like at the end of my first week in Guatemala, my family tested positive for COVID. And so I had to self-isolate in my room. That was pretty discouraging for me because I just felt really alone in a foreign country. And I participated in online school, but it wasn't what I wanted. At the end of the week on a Friday night, a different family from the school called me, and they were like, "Hey, I heard about your situation. Can we take you on a weekend trip to the beach?" And I was like, "Yes, of course you can." So they picked me up that night. We traveled to the beach. It was about a 2-hour drive. We got there pretty late. That's what I woke up to outside my window. It was just breathtaking. And like the cobblestone streets between the villas on the house or on the beach. Here's the family that took me, and as you can see, the beaches are full of volcanic sand, so they're all... What?
Is that a DJ?
Yes.
Oh,
You know him?
He wants to come here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, so the beaches are black, which is just very beautiful. I watched the sunrise, and then that's the sunset of the same day. And then I traveled back to the city on Monday, and my host family was actually negative on COVID by the time I arrived back. It was a very fast turnaround. So I was back with my classmates. We went to see a marimba concerto, which they had just won like a world record for the most marimbas played at one time. Marimbas are like originated in Guatemala, and so that was pretty cool to see. And just the architecture here was amazing. Here we are traveling into the concert hall, and then there they are. Those are our buses, and I like the little rainbow lines on the road. I don't know. Kaela was a place that we went to hang out a lot, and it was just really pretty to me. There's more Kaela. And so we traveled to the National Palace, which was built by George Ubico. And he actually made this palace for his wife. She loved the color green, so that's why it's green. His name has 5 letters in both his last and his first name. And so if you can see, the architecture is like built everything in 5s. I thought that was pretty cool. Here's the inside. Very beautiful. And presidents from the US have came and stayed here. A lot of their artwork was like very, very gorgeous, but it shows like a really hard story. And here's more. Then I went on a trip to Atitlan, the lake, and that's a tuk-tuk, that little car. They're very popular there. I love the colors of the houses, and that's the volcano. And then here's like when I saw the first glimpses of the lake. It's said to be like one of the top most beautiful lakes in the world, which I would agree with. Here's me swimming in the lake. We went on a boat to the other side of the lake to see more of the villages, because we were that's like the house we were staying in, and it was more rural area. So there we are on the boat. Me and Dave learned how to make chocolate, and it said if you can roll the stone, you are meant to be a good wife. So Dave's the good wife, I'm not. One of my favorite experiences on this trip was just seeing all of the artwork. It was kind of like nothing I had seen before, and I love the style. And then on the street, there's also just so much artwork, and this is in Mayan language on that door. And then this is what the streets look like, just so beautiful. We learned about the process of how they make thread. All of their thread is dyed with natural ingredients or natural fruits, and that was super interesting to learn about. There's more of the tuk-tuks. So Dave made a friend. And then, we headed back to Guatemala City after having a lot of fun at Lake Atitlan. Most days after school, I would go with my host sister to her equestrian club where she trained. She's pre-Olympic, and so that was really cool to see. Then we traveled to Antigua the next weekend and went to this giant lavender field. We I really thought this tree was beautiful. And then we kind of ventured into the town of Antigua. We visited the Jade Museum. And then some ancient Mayan ruins. And then on my last day in Guatemala, I watched my sister win second at a pre-Olympic horse competition, and so I was super proud of her because she's been training so hard. And then I flew home, feeling kind of sad, but I experienced a lot on this trip, and